But either way, it was a matter of me being able to use the information I'm going to be teaching you that is in the marketplace every single week. It's there. Every time frame, it's there. But I like a second stage redistribution on a market maker sell model, or I like a second stage reaccumulation in a market maker buy model. Now, a market maker buy model, a market maker buy model is a reverse of this. So the market would be creating consolidation, dropping down into a discount just simply to go higher, to go above the original consolidation. Here, on this 4-hour chart, the structure is a 4-hour market maker sell model. Now, if you look at the high formed on October 12th, and on your 4-hour chart, it should be your 10 a.m. candle. That is a smart money reversal. And then you can see the low risk short forms on the October 13th, 6 a.m. candle. And it's trading right up into the fair value gap that formed October 12th at 10 a.m. on that candle. And then we have the first stage distribution on October 16th, which is the 2 p.m. candle. All of this is relative and germane to the 4-hour chart still. And then we had a lot of consolidation in there. And then finally it dove down. And then we have the second stage redistribution at 10 a.m. Thursday, October 19th. And that leg lower did not trade. It did not trade below the original consolidation of the October 27th. I'm sorry, the September 27th low and October 4th low. So there's still room and opportunity to see that expansion lower. And I saw the afternoon rally going in at 130. What's at 130? What did I teach you about 130? I'll give you a minute to think about it. I'll get a drink. 1:30 ends the lunch hour macro. It's like whatever's going to happen in lunch, it ends at 1:30. So I can take a trade and I start observing. What time did I start telling you that I observe the PM session? 1:30. Why? Because it ends at 1:30. But there's no lunch. Nobody takes a lunch, ICT. The markets are run on this idea. It's all controlled. There's a time and schedule for all these things to occur. And when that market was rallying in the afternoon, after lunch yesterday, it trades up into a breaker. That was the draw for it. And then it rotates lower. And it gives you everything you would expect to see form. If it's going to drop, there's acceleration down, creates a fair value gap in the form of a SIBI, sell side imbalance, buy side inefficiency. Then it trades up into that, offering what? An opportunity to get short again if you missed it, and then ride it going into the last hour trading. And just hold for these lows here on the September 27th and October 4th respective 4-hour lows. I don't think it's going to just go there and stop. I think it's going to dig next week deeper into that daily buy side imbalance, sell side inefficiency. That quarterly shift target I gave you a month and a half ago, when we were trading up, everybody else is saying it's going to keep going higher. It's going to keep going higher. I'm going to bet you that it's going to be higher. Where are you at now? You blocked me. That's where you're at. All these things is a tapestry that requires you to spend time learning this language, sitting with me, observing it, and not trying to rush out there to get money. And because things are expensive, they're getting more expensive, you're all going to hang on the words that I tell you, and you're going to use that as a catalyst to get into a trade that I did not tell you to take. And that's what I think about more than anything anymore now, because there's so many of you. It's very intimidating for me because I don't sound like an introvert when I'm talking to you like this, because I'm shielded. I'm in my little bubble here. I'm comfortable. I'm in my own space. But I would not talk to you this way if we were in a group setting. I'm just going to be a name dropper here because I don't think it's disrespectful. Tom Hugard has been trying very hard to get me to go over and be a part of his venues. And number one, I don't fly. Two, um, I don't feel that travel's a good thing for right now. And my wife simply wasn't going for it. So not because she doesn't trust me, but she's like, nah, let's just not do that. But the predominant thing was I would not feel comfortable. And I told this to Tom. I said, I'm just not comfortable in that setting. Like I'm not comfortable. And I have lots of people asking me for interviews, sit down in front of, you know, yeah, a nice studio setting and have a, real good discussion about what I'm teaching, what I've done, what my vision of the future is for, what it is I've shared, and or just to have that first in-depth face-to-face, and probably ask all the questions that you want to ask me. I'm just not comfortable with that. And it took a lot of confidence that Corbs would be respectful, and he had the disposition and demeanor that I felt was appropriate. And I gave him, the least of everyone on the YouTube community, the person I would sit down and just talk openly with. And I was very uncomfortable in that conversation still too. And there was things that we talked about that I asked him to omit. I asked him to take those things out. But I was being considerate to him, and then the questions he asked, I answered. But those questions I've already answered publicly anyway. I've already stated all these things before. But I am absolutely introverted. And I feel empowered, I guess, in a way, in the solitude in this medium like this. It allows me to be something I wouldn't otherwise be able to do in front of a large group of people because it's intimidating to be in front of other people. Not because the stuff doesn't work, not because I don't think that, I could do it. I just don't feel comfortable doing it. I'm real wordy, and long-winded like this because I'm trying very hard to articulate something I want you to understand. And I'm observant that some of you want it done quicker and shorter, but I'm also a realist and I'm also aware that what you're asking can't be delivered. You can't learn this stuff in 5 minutes, short little trainers. It would take millions of them. And you still would be doing what I'm trying to do anyway, which is cultivate the idea that you have to be patient and you're going to learn in your own pace. You're going to learn in your own comfort. You're going to discover what makes you uncomfortable and what makes you comfortable. And you want your learning to be very comfortable. And as an educator, I have to be comfortable. Otherwise, I'm not going to give you my best. If I'm like I discovered when I did my first year mentorship, and I had 865 people, that was the first round entry of what came in. And I had GoToWebinar, and all 865 of those individuals was asking me something right then and there. And the weight of me not being able to answer every single person hit me like a ton of bricks. I'm like, wow, like how am I going to answer all of this? And how can I manage their expectations when they all feel like they deserve, and they do deserve to have their question fielded by me? But you'd also be surprised to see how many of them were just the rewording of the same questions. And that's why I tell all of you, I promise you, because I've been doing this enough time now, even before 2016, I already know what questions you're going to ask. I already know what you're wanting to know. I already know what you feel like is a problem for you right now, but it really isn't a problem. But you're not willing to listen to these discussions where I'm willing to sit down with you, spend my personal time. This is expensive for me. I could be doing lots of other things right now. I don't have to be doing this on my weekend. I'm choosing to do this because I care. I want to see you succeed. I want to see you do well. But I also want to do the best as an educator, and I don't want to half-ass anything. So when I try to teach something, I go into all the little subtle nuances that are going to be impactful, even though you may not appreciate it at the time because you think it's extra, it's fluff. It's not fluff. It's something that's going to be paramount to you because at some point you're going to try to implement this information. You're going to either do it with a live account, a funded account, Combine, or a funded account, or a demo that you have a whole lot of hopes and set goals. If it does this, then I'm going to move to a funded account, or I'm going to go to a live account if it performs well in this demo account. But you're not going to have all the information because you want to just pick and choose and have selective understanding. You want to go to somebody else that's trying to teach my subject matter. I don't know how else to say it than it's going to take you longer. And I've done everything I could over the years to try to simplify something that's very, very complex. If these markets are in fact ran by an algorithm, and I'm framing that in the argument for the people that don't want to believe it, if they are, wouldn't it require a great deal of theory to be understood? On what basis do they implement the price runs higher and lower? And when would they consolidate and frustrate you and not present opportunities when other people might see something in the chart and say, oh, there's something there, and they get whipped, sawed, and chopped up? I'm sharing that with you. I'm telling you when to see the markets in. It's going to be problematic. There might be opportunities there, but it won't be easy because it's going to be high resistance. And it still might go to where you think it's going to go, but it won't be a clean one single run to it. And I'm teaching you how to identify that. That's what you want to be pursuing. But those runs don't happen every single day. Those low resistance liquidity runs do not happen every day. Price fluctuates, yes. Price runs for liquidity each day. It runs for inefficiencies each day. But on the basis of how they do that, there's a differentiation between a high resistance run, where it will run a little bit, pull back, consolidate, run a little bit, pull back, consolidate, deep retracement, go up a little bit more, not go to where you think it's going to go, and then retrace even further, run where your stop loss is going to be, and then run there. That's high resistance. If you're just now learning how to trade using what I'm teaching, you'll fall victim to that and think that none of this works and you'll quit because you don't have the experience or the backdrop of having back tested and seen this happen sometimes. And that's why I teach the way I do, because I want you to identify the characteristics that create those environments that's going to be high resistance, not for the sake of, telling you not to trade when there's Joe Blow down the street that's telling you, here's what I can do, and this is what I've done, and this is what my students did. Okay. I get students that get lucky doing something that I would have never told them to engage in, and they think that that was experience using something, but I'm not going to shoot down their inspiration. If they're motivated by that, I'm not going to talk that down. But I've seen many of my students come forward and say, look at this, I did this and did this. I'm like, okay, I know enough to know what you're thinking you saw there was the valid pursuit of that move. But for me to say that would deflate them. So I don't do that. And some of you might think, well, you're a terrible mentor because you should be correcting them. No, because in the beginning, you need every bit of cheerleading. And some of these people are very, very new. And if it keeps them inspired to keep doing it, by experience and by default, they'll learn what it is they should see in it. Like anything else, any trader that's been doing this for a long period of time, you know where your growth and growing pains were. And as much as you hated going through it at the time, as a mature, consistently profitable trader, you can look back and say, I'm thankful that I went through that because it makes me stronger as an analyst. It makes me stronger as a trader. It gives me the freedom to not pursue something that's probably going to hurt me